I first met Kevin Brown through work in the community that we live in. He was a community activist in his own neighborhood outside of the ministry of Trinity Christian Community, and our paths crossed often. Professionally, I worked for a anti-poverty organization in New Orleans that worked in disadvantaged neighborhoods. We attempted, our role was to assist community development corporations who worked in affordable housing, the arena of affordable housing. Kevin was very interested in that from the beginning about affordable housing in the neighborhood of Hollygrove, so he had lots of contact with us, various training programs that we put on. After Katrina, of course, things changed in New Orleans, and Kevin had known about the organization that I worked for called New Orleans Neighborhood Development Collaborative. I left them soon after the storm to work in more direct hurricane recovery activities. And Kevin, who had known the work I had done before, approached me about working directly in Hollygrove. Of course, Hollygrove suffered, along with many other neighborhoods in New Orleans, some devastating damage from the storm. And he asked if I would be interested in starting a community development corporation in Hollygrove to help homeowners get back into their homes. To make a long story short, he is very persuasive, and I agreed eventually readily to come and work with his support and Trinity Christian Community's support in Hollygrove. I think working, when we first started, and the reason we were able to start a community development corporation in Hollygrove was because of Trinity Christian Community, Kevin and his staff. They welcomed us with open arms and provided us with a tremendous amount of in-kind support. We were housed here at Trinity Christian Community. We used all of their infrastructure, telephones and the internet and file cabinets. In addition to that, through a program with AmeriCorps Vista, we were able to tap into a lot of volunteers because of Trinity Christian Community. So we were, at his behest, Trinity Christian Community's behest, we were out there working in the neighborhood side by side along with TCC. They were doing just some fantastic work, extremely important work after the storm, gutting houses, helping people to renovate, helping people get back on their feet. I think the vision that I saw through TCC was a vision of a community that was going to come back better than ever. They had been in Hollygrove neighborhood for a long time before the storm, and they knew the neighborhood and its people through in and throughout. They knew what a resilient neighborhood it was, and they knew sort of the character and of the people that lived here. And I think what they saw was a community that was going to bounce back and come back better than ever. I think what they saw and what they brought to the table and really helped people in Hollygrove, helped me, was a neighborhood that cared for each other, cared about its people, cared about the most vulnerable people in Hollygrove, the ones who really needed assistance getting back, the elderly people whose homes had been destroyed, whose really their basic material lives had been wiped out from the storm. And I think Kevin saw a community coming together to help each other. Immediately after the storm, of course, all of our activity was centered on helping people get back, helping people to restore and rebuild their lives. And that lasted for several years. After that, my organization, the Hollygrove CDC, we started to look more just upon neighborhood revitalization in general. Through a lot of the planning processes that Kevin and neighbors and everyone else in Hollygrove participated in, it became apparent that food access, food security was a real problem in Hollygrove, as it was in any of the neighborhoods that had been flooded in New Orleans. So we started to search around. We decided, well, what could we do to alleviate that. And we thought about starting a farmers market in Holly Grove. After talking to several people who were involved in farmers markets before the storm, we realized, especially after the storm, when lots of farms in southeast Louisiana had been destroyed, that may not have been the best thing to do. The best way to address food access and food security. To make a long story short, we decided that we would open a retail store in Holly Grove that would focus on selling fresh fruits and vegetables and other food staples, but mainly fresh fruits and vegetables to Holly Grove residents. So we found a garden center that had not reopened after the storm. It was on 1 acre of ground, not too far from TCC, and really heart of Holly Grove. We talked to the owner. We talked to another neighborhood organization, or an organization a nonprofit that had been working in the neighborhood called New Orleans Food and Farm Network, whose mission was to help residents start backyard organic fruit and vegetable gardens. So with them, with TCC as a partner, New Orleans Food and Farm Network, Tulane University through their School of Architecture that was helping neighborhoods through various methods to get to rebuild. We opened what's called the Holly Grove Market and Farm, which was an organic fruit and vegetable training farm and a fruit and vegetable market. And both of those things, the farm and the market, were there to serve and service the Holly Grove neighborhood. That was 4 years ago. And today it's a thriving market and farm that has done what it said, plus more. We have really a citywide following of people who are interested in purchasing fresh fruits, locally grown fresh fruits and vegetables. In addition to that, we support local agriculture, both urban and small family-owned rural farms throughout New Orleans and southeast Louisiana. And we couldn't have done it without TCC. TCC was a partner in it. They provided in-kind services as well as an entree into the neighborhood itself that they had been working in for 15 years. As I mentioned before, I think that Kevin Brown, Trinity Christian Community, and staff, they have a vision for what Holly Grove can be. And I think that vision is really rooted in their faith. I think they believe that the most important thing that we do here is to care for each other and to work with each other for the common good. And when we do that, everyone is helped. It's what's at the heart of what they do. And when you do that, when you start with that belief, when you start with that faith in your fellow human beings, I think that the rest comes easy. The TCC is involved in a lot of things that take place in this community. They're on the board of Carrollton Holly Grove CDC. They're out there every day working with youth, working with the elderly. I think that if you understand what their mission is and what they're involved in, there's room for anyone and everyone who wants to really participate in growing this neighborhood and working with its residents and with helping to bring about a sense of community in Holly Grove. I do what I do because I believe in helping and working with people who live in my community. People, when you come across people like Kevin Brown and Trinity Christian Community and lots of other people in Holly Grove, that they're out there, they're working hard, they're putting their own self-interest behind the interest of their fellow men and their community, and it's inspiring. It really is. I don't think anyone could or would want to do it on their own. When they reach out or when they see people like Kevin and Jarvain and Evelyn Turner and Earl Williams and a host of volunteers that have come through Holly Grove because of Trinity Christian Community. It's uplifting, and it makes you feel part of a community, and it makes you feel like, hey, I want to be part of this. There are lots of things that can be done without money, and money is not the basis of why things get done in Holly Grove. On the other hand, it's certainly a big part. Things aren't free. It takes money to support people who have put their own self-interest behind the interest of the community. People like Kevin, like TCC, who do that need support from people who can, people who have the resources to spare.